So, it is time. I think it is time to get the motor started, or hope that it starts. I got pretty much everything in. We got the coil wires. I already put one on, but then I was like, oh no, you guys will miss me putting them on. I got the bolts to mount the coil that I took off. The only thing that we're missing is like that black O-ring seal that we had in the VST for the hose going to the fuel rail. I don't think that's that big of a deal because there's two exterior O-rings on that fitting, and it's also held down by like a little 10 millimeter bolt and like a little washer thing. I don't know what they're called, retaining washer. I don't know. So this is what we're gonna do. We're going to mount the coil. We're gonna do discount double check, make sure everything is plugged in, everything is there. Then we are going to hook the NOCO charger up to the battery because I feel like we're gonna be using a lot of battery today. And then we're going to hook my computer up to the motor and make sure there's no other error codes, and also prime the oil. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the two oil lines, there's two oil feed lines into the compressor, and there's an oil return line. So we're gonna disconnect the two feed lines, make sure oil is coming out of those, put them back on, pump it a couple times so that oil ends up in the air compressor. And then we will get the forky forklift, we'll turn the boat around so the motor is facing out the door, and we will try to get her fired up. Would I be lying to say I'm not a little nervous? I'm a little nervous. But as far as I can recall, everything else was fine. So let's go ahead, let's get the coil mounted and double check everything, get the computer hooked up. So I'll show you guys what I'm doing here in a second. It's just two bolts that hold the coil to the motor. You don't want to tighten these down too much. You can strip the thread. We've had to nutsert a couple of them. So let me show you guys what I did. So all I did is reattach this coil with these two bolts. I had taken them out and I left them at home. As you can see, we got new coil wires. I don't know if blue is better. Don't know, looks a little goofy to me. I'm not a big blue guy. Okay, so we got our fuel pump. We got one hose here and another hose back here that I can feel. That looks good. This looks good. This looks good. The throttle is hooked up. We got our oil line there. This needs a zip tie. So let's grab a zip tie. Do that. This going into here. We got this is the only thing that I'm a little concerned about. Let me just double check the tightness, the torque. That's nice and tight. That goes into here. You remember how to tighten these. Those are tight. Let's check down there. I don't know if this water, oh, it does, has a zip tie. You guys can't see it. That's the water feed line. We got these two. We got all our injectors plugged in right there. Man, I smoked my wrist yesterday pulling that 6 gauge. These are all plugged in. I don't know which one these go to, but there's two black or two brown and black wires, and then one blue. And so I think these are just like grounds for sensors. Well, we got that. This comes over to here. We got the injectors there. Of course, that fell in. Let's check our plugs, make sure they're all, sorry that this is a little wobbly. Make sure all of our plugs are pushed in there. Make sure they're pushed onto the coil. I did like how tight these were to get on. It's got good contact. There, 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 down there. So those are our thermostats. This comes up and over to here. That looks good. I'm gonna put the cover on. I think there's like air inlet. This is where the air comes in. So that's that. We got our coils plugged in. We got everything plugged in. So let's put that top cover on. We're not gonna put that top cover on because we got to check the oiling. Gonna go ahead, get this hooked up to the computer. So in order to get this hooked up to the motor, you have to put the key in like ignition. So let's see if we got any fault codes, which I doubt we do. I'm gonna prime the oil pump while I'm on this side and see if we have any leaks. So we should have oil. We got oil in the boat. Double check in here. There's oil in here. I'm gonna actuate the oil pump. Okay. No signs of leak. I'll actuate it one more time. All right, so I'm gonna pull this one here. Gonna bring my computer over here. And we had to prime this a couple times. Okay, we got oil. We got oil. So we know it's pumping oil now. I'm gonna let this run for like all right, I think it's time, guys. Let's get the forklift. Let's pull the boat out. All right, so we got the boat out here. We got fuel into the VST. We know we got oil being pumped up into the air compressor. We don't have any leaks on the oil pump on the other side. Basically, I'm gonna prime it back and forth. Basically, I'm gonna put on ignition, let the fuel pumps run to pump fuel into the fuel rails. Do that a couple times, and then I will pump the fuel again, and we should be ready to go. So let me go ahead and start doing that. Let's just double check. Make sure we don't have a leak over here. Just look. There. Just do it just a couple more times. All right, let's give it a go. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Woo! Yeah, yeah, yeah. We do have one issue though. I'll show you here in a second. We got a small leak. So we do have a small leak. It's right here. This one. This fitting is leaking like right here. No big deal. It's probably just the O-rings. So that's that. Let me drain this side too. Just want no pressure. Okay, nothing there. All right, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna start pulling the, I'm gonna take the injector wires off. I'm gonna take this off, take these 2 bolts off, or 2 nuts, man. Nuts, bolts, screws. I just can't ever say them right. Take those off, slide it out. Take this thing off, take that off, and get some O-rings. I got O-rings here. I'm pretty sure I got the O-rings for that. So, yeah, baby. Had such a rough week. And I just really needed a win this week, you know? And this is a win. This is a huge win. I think this is a 15. Of course it is. Just texting my wife. Video of the boat running. It's a little toasty. Pull that like that. Lay that down. 4mm Allen wrench. So let's get this O-ring replaced.